Hi, welcome back. So if it was a complete bastard, I'd be just continuing off from where I left off. However, I'm not, so we're going to have to undo all the parts that I've just done because I was paused. Okay, so to précis kind of what I did, if you click on the plus sign here, okay, we can now configure our viewport. And all I've done is I've put the side by side here. Clicked OK, and as you can see, here we've got my mesh smooth model, and here I've got my non-mesh smooth model, or turbo smoothed, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, now then, it's a bit of a pain really, because unfortunately we were quite far on when I mashed pause and didn't come back to it. So look over here. So let's just go back to where I was. This lovely hand that I just created here, I'm going to grab. This is where I was up to, you see. And get rid of. Click shrink. It's a shame because that was quite a nice piece actually. I'll hide it just in case we ever need it again. And what I did, just to quickly show you, you know how to do this kind of thing anyway, but I did a connect along the top of the arm and just brought this part up. I did a quick chamfer here and here, and I did one at the wrist, but we'll come and do that one again soon. Okay, so I wouldn't get too concerned. Alright. Just going to grab this edge here and just do a quick cap. And what's happened is I'm currently in screen mode, which makes it a little bit easier for what I'm doing. I'm just going to drag this down to here. Okay, so I'm just cloning to object and moving down here. And this is basically enabling me to make targets that I can move down to as I go along. Massively annoyed that I'll undo that again. I'm going to clone it to an element actually. Massively annoyed that I didn't record that last piece. However, happens I suppose. Good thing about using screen mode is I can literally kind of fly around the model like this. Get it in the right position. It's all about tweaks. Everything we're doing at the minute, it's all tweaking. Okay, so what we can do is just line this up like so. Okay, and work it that way. Now another way we can do it is, if I just select that part and delete it, if I just go over here, select these two polygons here and just detach, I'm just going to detach them as a clone. Now I'm going to go over here and detach this is a clone. And here. And again over here. Just attach on all these parts. as a clone. And like I say, I apologise that this tutorial skipped a little bit. It wasn't deliberate. It was I'd paused it whilst I was finding a key combination I needed. Sorry, a menu I needed, and I thought I'd turned it back on again, and I was sat for literally 20 minutes working away, and I'd came to the end of a part, and I looked up and I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. It's rare that happens, but when it does, absolute nightmare. Detach. Okay. Have a look at our thumbs. That one's done. Good, good. Okay, now I'm going to quickly temporarily hide these fellows here. So I'll do an unhide all. I may as well just delete this part because I'm not going to use it again. Okay, now I'm going to hide these parts of the hand while I work. Just temporarily. Well, not all of them. I don't want to hide every bit. I'll just hide these bits. There we go. Okay, and that leaves us these parts here. Zoom in on this bit. And I'm just going to use the bridging tool. Just so that I've got 2 polygons here rather than 1. Okay, and I'm going to come straight down into here, into here, into here, and so on. Actually, I don't even need to do it that way, do I? I'll just delete these again. And what I'm going to do is just attach these parts. Like so. And these will become our hands. So it's the bridge tool here. I think I'm zoomed in on the wrong model on the left here. Let's get over here again so you can see what's happening. I'll leave that area here open. Delete those. Over to there. Just being really careful while we do this. Okay, and again. This is actually the fastest way of doing it. If you've got an underlying frame, it makes it, oops, shouldn't have done it that way actually. It makes it a lot easier doing it this way. As long as the underlying frame obviously is built in roughly the same dimensions as what you're already doing, because you don't have to tweak it twice then. And it means your fingers don't end up with weird twists in. Also, be very glad these guys don't have fingernails, they're just wearing gloves. That's going to make things a lot easier. Okay, and here. I think I'll leave in the mistake on the other part that says, like, you know, I forgot that I wasn't recording, or didn't realise I wasn't recording. It's always good to show mistakes, even if they're ones that don't make much sense. and to there. Okay, and we can see that they're quite thin fingers, but we're going to bulk them out because they need to be quite chubby actually. It's not difficult though. All we need to do really is just grab here and kind of bring them out a little bit here and here. And I'll work on the back of the wrist in a moment or two as well. We've got the thumb up here, so we're going to work on that now. Okay, and then down here. There we go. And that gives us this quite thin, kind of insipid looking thumb. But like I say, we'll work on that as well. I want to put slightly more detail into the thumb, which we can do here just by adding a quick, not loop, ring. As you see, it kind of comes all the way down through the thumb here, so I'll do a quick connect. Good thing about this is I can now grab here and here and give some more density to the back of the wrist, which we didn't have before. There we go, just keep an eye on this. We don't want it to look weird. It's all too easy to make stuff like this look weird and wrong. See, that's too bulky there now. And this thumb's coming back too far. So, let's bring the thumb forward. There. We've really got to work on tweaking this now, making it look more like a hand and thumb, because it doesn't. So let's bring the ball of the thumb down. Bring this part out a bit. So the minute our thumb just looks wrong, and we don't want that. So again, it's all just about tweaking. Okay, let's see that. It's getting there, although as you can see, the flow here is not really going right for what we need. Let's bring these fingers here up a little bit as well, because they're very thin at the minute. Just increase the thickness up the top. There. This is okay. We'll bring this out. Because as I was mentioning before, we have more finger bones in our fingers, because they go inside the top of our wrist. Well, inside our wrist full stop. Well, inside our palm, sorry. So okay, let's have a look at this thumb. Alright, now the reason it looks like a banana at the moment is this part here, so we'll sort this out. If we go here and just do a quick loop and then a chamfer, it should stop looking like a banana and should look more like a bend. There, that's better. I'm not going to do anything here or here where the fingers meet, but I'm going to here, 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 and here. So again, I'm just going to loop and then do a small chamfer. Sorry, just want to do a small chamfer. If you can't get it to go small because, you know, you've got stupid fingers like mine, just use the slider. and mess with the value until you get like that, and click tick. Okay, now let's look at this side of the hand here, and what we need to do really is bring out this lump on the side of the fingers a little bit. Okay, reason being that we tend to get that kind of shape here. Sometimes people actually form a little spur of bone there. So we want to bring out that shape there, and I think we could probably do with just having this brought back a little bit more just here. You can see what difference that makes now. It's kind of separating out the thumb slightly more, and that's about there. We'll just have a check here. You see that shape there? It looks okay from this angle, but from here, a little bit flat. So let's have a look and see. Is that a flat here as well? Yeah, it is a bit. So let's just grab here and here. Bring that up a bit there. And then bring that up to about there. And there, that's better. That's a much better shape. Now, this is where the wrist is, so what I'm going to do is just grab here, and I think I'll actually do a quick slice, swift loop, sorry, through here instead. I should be able to do a swift loop without too much problem. There, and as you see now, that brings our wrist in, which kind of completes the shape of our wrist a lot better than we had. These hands should probably be a little bit broader, but I mean, it's all down to you really how you want to tweak them. You can make them broader if you want. I'm going to put an extra loop in here as well, just for controlling the thumb, and an extra one here just on the thumb knuckle. Okay, because the thumb should obviously be quite articulated. I just want to make sure there's no creasing going on there. And no, that's okay. That's kind of what we'd expect, really. Let's move it away. Actually, I'll keep 2 for the minute. That's fine. Because our mesh is going to be quite dense. We don't want to make it too dense. Now, at the top here, as you can see, I've made these recesses here just for like where it's going to bend in and stuff. I'll do another one here. Okay, so you can see kind of where the inside of this is. Now down here, if we wanted to give him muscle we could, but he doesn't really have a lot of muscle. I'll maybe just bring this down just a teeny bit. Just here and here. Just to give some slight underarm curvature. Same again here, just to give it a slight definition to the arm. Okay. Not bad. I mean, the arm's probably a little bit long, really, for a minion when it comes down to it, but looks a bit like Slimer, really, doesn't he? But nonetheless, you can always kind of adjust this and make them shorter or longer. You can actually, once it's rigged, scale the bones in and make his arms as short or as long as you want. So that's not really going to be a problem. Coffee. Right, let's unhide all. So that we've got his bones back. There they are. And check this one out. That's fine. Remember what I said, we're only working on half the model at the moment. Now down here, where his legs come out, and they are really tiny legs. I really like those legs. We're going to have to be careful because we don't want to split the model. Now then, as you can see, what I want to do really is have the leg come out of there in the middle. So these parts I'm going to kind of inset just a little bit, but then I want to move this one and this one actually back so that they're going to come down into the leg here, and then its bum will kind of hang over the edge there, or butt, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Now we've got quite a lot of polygon here. I'm trying to think, because I don't want too many polygons. Yeah, I think probably the best way of doing this is going to be just to create an extra polygon around the middle here. So what I'm going to do is just inset these like that. Now, as you can see, it creates a shape here. We've got these over definitions going on here. So you want to be very careful. We're going to have to spend a while smoothing these out probably if we're not careful. However, it'll give us extra polygons to work on for his bum and for his stomach and stuff like that. Now over here, again, I'm only working on one side, so I'm going to change this to view mode. Let's bring it straight back. And just start messing about with some of the verts here. Because the thing is, it's easy enough to create a space for the leg to come out of, but the leg's also got to be the correct shape, which makes things a tiny bit more complicated. Because when it comes out, it's going to have to be this shape. So, again, we've created the skeleton, and we may as well make some use of this, because it's more or less the right shape, as you can see. So if I just duplicate it and make a copy of this, okay, this R001 here, and I'm going to hide the original one just for the moment, so hide selection. Okay, and here, what I'm going to do is just do a quick swift loop, just here. Go there and just do a quick a quick ring, then control select by polygon, delete it. Now there'll be a dead polygon here that I can get rid of. And that gives me this shape. Okay, now up here. And you can see what's going on down here now. We have this nodule appearing out of nowhere. However, the good thing is that we can really start binding it in now at this part. So we now have a hole here where its leg's going to come into play. Let's go into the bridge tool and just start bridging this together. Okay, and that gives us this teeny weeny little peg here. Now we're going to have to just look at, I'll just unhide all again as well. There we go. Make sure I've still got the original bone. Yep, there it is. Okay, we're going to have to straighten this out a little bit and put it in the right place, because it's not quite ideal. There we are. because they're quite fat, these little guys, I suppose, in a way. They're supposed to be quite, you know, cutesy and stuff, so there we are. At the back here, just work on these shapes. There we go. Okay, and then this is going to come down into our foot, so I'm going to extrude by 0. Let's bring it straight down. Just use the scale tool to flatten it, and then back up again. Okay, and add a little bit of twist to this because I need to bring this part back. And so really just lining it up with the back of the foot now at this point. Okay, next, another swift loop. Should be able to swift loop on the bottom of this. About here. Okay, and now adjust the swift loop a bit. Okay, and extrude it out. As you see, we're making a very basic foot. Certainly not wide enough yet, but it will be. Okay. Just select all the polygons here that make the foot, and I'm just going to bring it wide. Not too wide because I don't want to break the foot, you know, but just start messing around with the shape a bit. Once I've got some additional polygons in here, I can probably start, you know. I'm just going to ring there and do a connect. Now I'll go all the way up, and if you look at that now, we've got it kind of going flat at the front here, because this shape here isn't rounded anymore. So you don't want it to go all the way up, rather like what I did with the arm, we just want it to go part of the way. So if I just go to there, as you see, and then click connect, it's only going to round our foot, which is way more ideal. And then we can start, you know, pulling around the shapes for that instead. And okay, now if I select this, I'm going to hide everything else, so hide unselected. I want this one as well. There we go, hide unselected. Okay, and this will allow us just to work on these now, because we know it's in the right place. And I think, to be honest, the other piece now is just going to get in the way. You can see we've got far too many flat areas here. And when we've got flat areas, that means there's problems. Now then, this loop here, if I select it, Okay, and this will form the base of the shoe, which comes in and under. And at the back here, swap it round so I can see the back of the shoe. Okay. Gonna have to broaden this a little bit shortly as well. First. Come out with that shape there. Now, I think probably a good time for a swift loop just here. And avoiding this flat area, okay, because this is causing us no end of grief, this flat area here. So, really want to get a shape on these shoes. Remember, the big toe is always going to be larger than the other parts and usually pushed forwards. Bring this part back. There, that's a better shape. Okay, because his trousers are going to kind of come down over this anyway. Now, what I need to do is get rid of half my model. And over here on my final piece, before Turbo Smooth, I need to apply some symmetry. I could do it after as well, I suppose. There we go. So now we can see what's going on with his bum, which is actually quite funny over here. As you see, symmetry's on this one as well. Got an edible poly, and I'll click Show End Result. Okay, so let's work on the bum of this model. And at the moment it's got quite a sagging bottom. We're working in symmetry, so everything will move at the same. Just remember, keep everything flowing. You don't want sharp angles, not when it's organic. If you're confused what, you know, a slightly curved bottom should look like even on a caricature, just look on the internet and I'm sure you'll find a couple of references somewhere. As you see, his bum's now hanging down at the back. Now, we've got his shoulders here, so let's just let's work on that, bring them this way a little bit. That'll give him a slightly broad definition at the back here. And just his shoulder blades would be about here, so we'll curve them back a bit. Doesn't really have much of a sticking out chest, slightly pigeony. Let's just move this line here forward a little bit just to give him slightly more curve. And we don't want to hang the stomach down because they don't want they're not fat, they're just chunky. Okay, grab here, bring that down. Now the feet are a little bit far apart really, but we can fix that by moving some of these verts here. There's a bit of a gap here, so I'll move that one in as well. That way it'll auto weld. Okay, let's bring this one in. Being careful not to break our model. And we can see what's happening with our model if we go over here. As you see, we're creating too much of a pointed crotch here. You've got to be careful. Now, as you see, the legs are inset too much, so we've got to bring this down. Remember, we want smooth shapes. This is too far down here, this pointed part, so let's bring that up. Now let's have a look. Okay, that's better. Now remember, if you want to, we can do large grabs. There we go, and that would bring the feet in there, which is more correct. However, we're going to need to get the rig as well and fix that in the rig, so that's something to remember. So let's grab the legs here and bring them in like so, and here therefore we're going to bring this part down a little bit, which will keep the model's shape correct. Because we've done that, if you look around the back, we've broken its bum, so and we've got far too many verts here that are really close together. Spread those out, because you don't want to create these kind of, we appear to be creating glutes almost at the back here, which we're trying to avoid. These are too close together as well, look. So we're going to have to fix these parts, because they shouldn't be there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just stick an edit poly on top of this. And by sticking an edit poly on top of this one now, I can directly affect the stack. And I want to start cleaning my model up a bit. I know to you it may look like I'm just digging holes in it randomly, but I'm not. Okay, now I'm going to bring this one back a bit, and then I can bring this one round. I'm going to get rid of this vert here, so I'm just going to backspace it away. I can always add another one if I need it. And I'm not concerned about this side because I'm just going to stick symmetry back on again soon. There, and just do a bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, 5 sides. That's okay, we can fix that. Go through here and here and just do a quick connect, which will allow us to round this part a bit more. And then here to here. And here to here. Okay. Now this part here at the back, way pointy. Let's move it. Okay, and this part here, bring it across a bit. To there. Okay, so that's working out okay now. Now let's convert editable poly Let's collapse that stack again. Get rid of that half. Make sure there's no loose parts left over. Alright, and that gives us this shape over here. Which, as you can see, is kind of getting there. I mean, the arms, like I say, the arms are a little bit long. However, we can change that simply by moving the bones around a bit and make them shorter. I'm just trying to work out the angle here. I think they look long, however, I've got a suspicion they're actually not too long at all. Go figure. Okay, now, here's our development model again over here. I'm going to stick symmetry on. Let's get rid of all these modifiers that are sitting on top of this one. Okay, so we've still got our copy of this one over here. Over here I'm going to apply symmetry. Over here. Now then, this mesh here is collapsed, so I just want to work on this one here, I think, probably. Let's have a look at it. Seem about right. Should do. Okay, and on top of symmetry I'm going to apply my turbo smooth, like that. Stick 2 iterations on. I'm going to ISO line display. Then drop down here to editable poly and show end result. That means now I'm working with this mesh here. Okay, let's look at the top of the head. Just checking the overall shapes again. Bring this one down a little bit because it kind of curves down a bit on the top there. Bring the cranium back a little bit at the back. Actually slightly less indented on the top. Okay, let's have a look. Unhide all. We can see that the legs now are slightly off, so let's have a look. This should be our hip. It is. Gonna move this in a bit. And here. Okay, next. Just gonna get our leg bones. Bring them in. And here. Okay, that way they're inside the feet. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm pleased with that. Okay, so in the next part we're going to go on and do a little bit more detailing probably. We'll also probably mess around with the skeleton and just generally enjoy ourselves. So till then, thanks for watching. See you in the next bit. Bye bye for now.